This guy, his name is Jimmy, and Jimmy is about to become a billionaire. He's 22 years old, a computer science student at a college in Georgia, and honestly, he's just kind of awkward and alone. He's never really had a tight friend group or much attention. But that's all about to change, because Jimmy's about to be worth over $3 billion. It all starts when he gets into Bitcoin in the early days, way before crypto hits the mainstream. He grabs some Bitcoin and stores it on a hidden online marketplace that was just getting attention at the time. Then in 2012, he logs back into that site to take out his Bitcoin, and that's when something weird happens. He double-clicks the withdrawal button by accident, and somehow he ends up getting twice the amount back. Then he realizes this might be a glitch, so he tries it again. And every time it works. So Jimmy decides to go all in. He sets up multiple accounts, moves more Bitcoin in, and keeps using the same method to pull double the amount out each time. In just a few days, he's collected more than 50,000 Bitcoin. At the time, that's worth about $600,000. For a college kid who's never had much money, this is life-changing. Jimmy suddenly finds himself with real wealth, and he's determined to use it to make connections. He starts hitting up bars, paying for everyone's drinks. He books luxury hotel suites, shops at high-end stores, drives off in a Tesla, and eventually buys himself a house on a lake. And here's the wild part. This place has its own built-in bar and even a pole set up in the living room. Pretty soon, everybody wants to hang out with Jimmy. He becomes the center of every party. He's throwing wild get-togethers, always surrounded by people. You see photos of him with 2 women, then 2 more. Jimmy, the guy who once had no one, is now the life of the party. And surprisingly, the money just keeps piling up. As crypto's value skyrockets over the next few years, so does the value of his stash. By 2018, those same 50,000 Bitcoin are worth somewhere around $200 million. Jimmy starts sharing the wealth to keep the good vibes going. At one point, he takes all his friends on a private jet to watch a college football game. There's even a moment where he gives each of them $10,000 to go on a shopping spree in Beverly Hills, just because he can. He even keeps a suitcase filled with cash in his bedroom. Sometimes he shows it to the women he brings around, hoping it'll impress them enough to stick around. But deep down, he's still hoping someone will actually like him for who he is, not just his money. And while his friends know he's rich, he never tells them where the money really came from. He just says he made it big in crypto. But eventually, things take a turn. While Jimmy is away on a trip, someone breaks into his home. The whole thing gets caught on a security camera. When he returns, he finds out he's been cleaned out. About $400,000 in cash and around 150 Bitcoin tokens are missing. Someone clearly knew where to look. He contacts local authorities, but with no strong leads, nothing really happens. Not satisfied, Jimmy brings in a private investigator to look into it. She quickly starts to suspect people in Jimmy's own circle. She follows them, checks their online activity, and runs background checks. Eventually, she thinks she's figured out who did it. But when she tells Jimmy her theory, he doesn't buy it. He trusts his friends too much. He doesn't want to accept that someone close could betray him. So he lets her go, and the case remains unsolved. Meanwhile, in a totally separate investigation, the IRS Criminal Division is looking into a major breach involving that same old online marketplace. And while they're digging into that, they notice something odd. Back in 2012, 50,000 Bitcoin went missing, taken by an unknown person. They follow the digital trail across various transactions. Eventually, the coins led to a crypto exchange. But there's a problem: they don't know who owns the account. That is, until Jimmy slips up. He transfers about $800 worth of Bitcoin through that same exchange and uses his real name and home address. And just like that, they connect the dots. They now know who was behind that 2012 glitch: Jimmy. So they put together a quiet plan. One day, a couple of agents show up at Jimmy's house. They don't say they're from the IRS. Instead, they say they're following up on his old break-in case. And since that case was never solved, Jimmy doesn't suspect anything. He's friendly, even excited to have people over. Because at his core, Jimmy still just wants company. They sit and talk for a while.
You guys get this solved, I'm going to invite y'all up for a beer whenever y'all want. All right.
He even tells them how he used to keep a suitcase full of money around to impress women.
You know, I was trying to impress this girl back then.
Did it work?
Nope.
That never does. Never does.
He brings them downstairs and shows them his bar and the pole setup.
Is this your workout? Nope, that's for the girls. Okay. Nice.
He's showing off like they're buddies. Then they ask him about crypto, how long he's been involved, what wallets he uses. Eventually, Jimmy opens up his laptop and shows them one of his accounts, right there on screen. It's loaded with tens of millions in digital assets. That's all the confirmation they need. The agents live quietly. But not long after they return, this time with legal documents in hand. They search the place, take what they need, and they arrest Jimmy. Here's his booking photo.
It was one of the biggest mysteries in crypto. Who stole 50,000 bitcoins, which would ultimately be worth more than $3 billion?
At that moment, Jimmy's Bitcoin holdings are worth around $3.4 billion. But instead of fighting it, Jimmy cooperates. He gives up his crypto, takes a deal, and ends up serving a little over a year. If you made it this far, let me know in the comments. Do you think Jimmy deserved what he got? Follow for more wild true stories only on